Me. I am a memoir. I said a memoir. The meaning of Mariah Carey.
Hello, Lamely! Welcome to another very special bonus episode of Me, I Am a Memoir, the meaning of Mariah Carey. This is Fab, that is Posh, and we are having a festive moment in honour of Her Royal Highness, Queen of Christmas, Mariah Carey. So we're not in the book. I know, what a surprise. I think we spend 80% of this podcast outside of the book. We are going to break on down her amazing sequel to her Merry Christmas album, Merry Christmas IIU, Merry Christmas to You. But before that, because we are in the Mariah zone, right in her special time of year, we of course have a festive Mimi moment.
Mimi moment.
Yes, so we weren't going to do a festive Mimi moment because, you know, it's an album, but
Yeah.
I mean, they're just coming out everywhere. So I just stumbled upon this little thing, which is a festive holiday do's and don'ts from
Ooh.
Mariah herself. So it starts with a major don't being bleak people.
Bleak people.
Cannot have them. Don't know them.
Get them out of your life.
Yeah, get out. Yeah, just not even at Christmas time. Just be gone forever. Do mistletoe. So a little smooch.
Oh, but how?
Yeah.
We don't have that in this country.
I'm
I think
thinking
it's
a
poison.
gum leaf, like it's a branch.
I think mistletoe is poison anyway.
Yeah. It's just a tarantula. Another don't is Christmas decorations in October. Only if you're under duress, says Mariah.
I think only if you're under duress or if you are a shop that sells them.
Well, yeah, then that's okay. Yeah, you're doing a little window dressing.
Yeah.
We can do artificial Christmas trees because Mariah wants to save the environment.
Oh, absolutely. But, you know,
I mean, it's kind of killing it in a different way, but it's fine.
I think you would need to do like an artificial that's not going to live forever after you die.
Yes. Yeah, compostable artificial.
Yeah, compostable or recyclable.
Or just be buried with it.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that is it.
I think mine's wire and tin. I can't.
Yeah, that's fine. I feel like Mariah would really love that if it's like, you know, just getting buried with a Christmas tree.
Also,
Makes sense.
it's silver with only red baubles.
Is it? You've got a
Quite
moment.
Yeah,
happening.
but
I'm still waiting for my
moment.
my baubles haven't arrived. Waiting for them to drop. Because
You've been waiting for that for so long.
I know. Finally,
Like I went to your 21st and they still
I
weren't
know.
there.
Kmart said any minute now. But no, so it's the first time I've gotten a Christmas tree on my own because I've always either lived with people or just not had one because I've been, you know, running around the countryside and I thought, you know what? I'm going to be here. I'm going to see it. So I'm going to decorate my Christmas tree. Mariah's on it.
Also, when people send you a present, it's good to have somewhere to put them under your tree.
Yes, that is a good spot. And I don't have a fireplace. But
You've got two.
Do I?
I mean, got two heaters.
Yes. Just pop your stocking under the recycle aircon.
We do have, maybe that should be an Australian thing. Like we pin our stockings to the reverse cycle air conditioner.
And they're really thin, like pantyhose material.
Yeah, and they blow like a flag.
But yes, I did put Mariah up there because, as I said on Instagram, I couldn't afford the $50 US dollar shipping fee.
It's a lot of shipping, yeah.
And so I just printed it out and stuck it on the tree.
What Mariah needs to do is organise a local supplier. Maybe we could do it. We'll go into business.
Totally.
We will supply Mariah's locally.
A Mariah supplier.
A Mariah supplier. That's what we need to. Like, I'm starting a business now. Just registering the business name Mariah Supplier. Local, because then we can get
supplier
those.
is spelled SUPPIAH.
Yeah, supplier, darling. Because then we can get the baubles, we can get the cookies, we can
the
get
Black
the
Irish
alcohol. Yeah, I'm into it.
because we should be having a splash of Black Irish right now.
Should be sitting
What's
by
happening?
our recycle air conditioning
Yeah, with
close
our
to the
socks
fire
popping.
because it's 1,000,000 degrees.
It's so hot.
I've had to shut the window because there's noises from outside and I'm slowly melting. So talk quickly.
Perfect. Blah, 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 blah. Another don't is ugly Christmas sweaters, which of course we couldn't because it's so hot.
No, 'cause it's too
and
hot.
you have to be beautiful at Christmas. Why would anyone want to be
Yes.
ugly? That's bleak.
Bleak, darling.
We do milk and cookies for Santa,
We do.
which is nice, and I like to put a carrot out for the reindeer.
Well, that's very thoughtful of you.
Thank you. And
Those fat reindeer are not going to be able to take off by the time they leave your house because they also eat the cookies.
oh my god.
Santa just has the beer and the milk.
Oh, I thought Santa had the cookie. Maybe Santa has the carrot. Who knows? I don't know where he puts the carrot, but you know, he's there.
It's a very different Santa.
Yeah.
I have
the
I have
local
been Santa,
Santa.
before.
Yeah.
I have dressed as Santa before and have often offered to come down someone's chimney and empty my sack.
Oh my god! Don't tell the strawberry story.
No, why would I tell that story?
No, that's on Fanatic if anyone wants to find it. And a maybe a don't is homemade tinsel, to which Mariah says, "I don't know what that is."
What is that?
Well, so I mean, is it? Are we tinfoiling? I think it's just like the little paper things that kids make in school.
Oh, like
little chains and things.
The paper chain. No, I think homemade tinsel. I've just got visions of some sadistic mole with a fork and some tin foil and just trying to
It's Patricia
shred
Arquette.
it. Yeah. No.
Yeah, and can you imagine it's like
the noise.
Yeah, and the feeling not okay.
Oh.
But that's good. I'm glad that we have some do's and don'ts from the Queen herself,
Thank you, HRH, Queen of Christmas, Mariah Carey.
Mariah Supplier.
Bring me on down.
Diving in, Merry Christmas to you.
Aye.
Yes, and that's what I Google when I look for the album. It's like I. It's fine.
Merry Christmas, you. It's a sailor's Christmas. Aye, Captain.
It's Captain Birdseye, or Feather Sword, whichever.
Feather sword.
yeah.
It just sounds dirty.
It does, doesn't it? We're back to the carrots. And this was released November 2nd, 2010. So, 3 or 4 months ago. It was a US number 4 and an Australian number 27. What were we thinking?
What were we thinking?
And we're just going to dive on in because the first song, it's an interlude,
Oh, I love an interlude.
which is just sort of like a little hangover moment from the previous album, which is Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Yes.
We don't even really need to dive in because it's really just an intro to the second song.
It's just instrumental.
Yes, and it's building as it's like as we enter into Christmas Town, this is the soundtrack. And
Feels
then
like,
everyone scurries out.
It's like when you're
to
on the
perform.
rooftop at Maya. Like when I was a little kid, you used to go and get your photo with Santa. And then after you got your photo with Santa, you used to go on like a little train ride
Cute.
to the rooftop at Maya where there was a carnival. And you put your balls in the clown's mouth, and there was like a little ride, like there was a merry-go-round and stuff.
You were 43.
No, that was another time I put my balls in some clown's mouth.
Oh my God.
But there was a whole thing. There was a whole sideshow bit of business on the roof at Maya. It was awesome.
I've never done the Maya thing. I do
Yeah,
have
no.
one bauble from Maya because I had like a $20 voucher and I was like, what am I going to get at Maya for $20? A
One
single Christmas decoration.
Christmas bauble.
And it's like the clowning glory alongside my new Mariah.
You're clowning. Glory.
Yeah.
I should point out for our overseas listeners, and even listeners possibly listening from interstate, Maya in Melbourne is in the middle of the city, and they do the big Christmas windows every year. Like it is a big tradition to go and look at the Maya Christmas windows, because you might have a Maya at your local, Westfield or something, and it's not the same. The one in the city in Melbourne. That was a big deal when I was a kid.
So they don't do it in Sydney?
I think David Jones does the Christmas windows here.
Oh,
they
they rocked off on it.
Here. Yeah.
But yeah, so the little townsfolk, now we've entered the gates of Christmas Town, they run out and perform a little O Santa for us.
Santa!
Which is written by Mariah, JD, and Brian Michael Cox. It was a US number 100. What was anyone thinking?
I was thinking anything.
But it did get to number 76, the version with Ariana and J Hud.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because it was redone years later.
But we have a video.
Oh.
So we're straight into a posh synopsis.
Poshnopsis, a poshnopsis. It's a festive poshnopsis.
So many remixes to that. I love it.
I know, it's a happening thing.
All right. So Lollipop Bling and Island Records and Elizabeth Arden present. I don't know if that's real or fun for the thing.
No, I think that's probably real.
Yeah. The Mariah Carey Christmas Spectacular with an old school intro. Mm-hmm. There's an audience in like an old TV studio. Yep. Mariah and her backing singers are there. There's some kids doing some pretty hectic dance moves, just quietly. Definitely seeing Mariah's girl group vibes. Mariah poses a lot. Santa shows up and waves a bit, but this is Mariah's show, so she steals his hat to assert her dominance. Excellent. Santa comes back and hands her a gift. And I can't tell exactly what it is. I tried to go back and look at it again, but I assume it's the keys to his sleigh.
Oh, Santa.
You know, I think, yeah. That was a wink if you couldn't hear it. I think he was just like, there's no point in me even trying anymore because you've clearly won. And here you go. So for this song, firstly, I went and listened to the newer version, and I do like this version the most. And I don't think it gets the credit that it deserves. I think it's slightly overshadowed by perhaps a sibling. And it's just really fun. It's its own song. It's not
trying to be a copy or a different.
No.
Like, this song plays a very big part in her directorial debut with Gretchen Wieners from Mean Girls. Claudia from Party of Five. Yes. Lacey Chabert. That song plays a lot. She never sings it in the movie.
Oh, what are you doing,
but
Mariah?
the song comes on a lot. Oh, Santa.
I have seen it, but we'll have to do maybe a watch of that next year for Christmas.
Yeah.
Little commentary. All the lighting and no lighting.
Yes.
I mean, I love, she even mentions the word Blake in this song. Yeah. And look, it's basically just heaven. How did you feel when you first heard this after a long gap between Christmas?
Well, I don't think it's been that big a gap because I do crack them all out at Christmas every year.
That's true.
I mean, that's why I was excited that, she called her besties, J Hud and Ariana, around to sing along, just quietly in the background while she dominated.
Green.
But it's a fun song. Like it's one of those songs. Like the first time I heard it, I was like, "Oh, this is fun!" Like it goes at a breakneck pace. Yeah, it is. It's very new Mariah.
That's it. That's it. Straight into the claps.
But yeah, I enjoy it. It's got a silly, fun. It feels like a lot of people having fun, and they just happen to have recorded a song in the middle of that party.
Yeah.
Which I would say a lot of this album feels like.
Yeah. And I do think like Mariah really did pull in that sort of girl group vibe that she mentioned wanting. She brought that into the video, so that was all there. Everyone else was sort of more old school, but Mariah still had her beautiful long locks. Yeah. But yeah, look, it's not quite at infinity for me yet, but it's definitely a 5 out of 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Santafinity.
Yeah, right. It's O-finity! Exclamation.
O-finity.
Bring us to the second track, "Oh Little Town of Bethlehem" slash Little Drummer Boy Medley, which was a first listen from me, written by Phillips Brooks, not Philip Brooks. There's several of him. Louis H. Redner, Catherine Davis, Henry Honorati, and Harry. Oh God, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Simone. It looks like someone with an I.
Oh. Simone.
No. So, what are your feelings on this little track?
Well, you do need a quick change out of Osana because Osana is hectic and mad.
Now we're traveling to Bethlehem,
and we need to go into a traditional Christmas carol Okay, maybe two. We'll back them one up one up to the other. We'll just like back up 2 Christmas carols for the price of one. But yeah, it's I like a little town of Bethlehem, and sometimes I find the little drummer boy cloying and annoying, but it's just enough of it. Like it's not like it doesn't do the whole parappa-pum-pum for like 14 hours thing. It's just like it's just a little interlude of parappa-pum-pums. Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate this arrangement of these 2 songs, but I don't think either of them altogether do they come close to any of the carols on the previous Merry Christmas album.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I pretty much agree as far as the drummer boy. My thing was I didn't really need the intro or the outro. I think the song on its own was quite nice. And it would have just been like a little short sort of slow moment.
Yeah.
I like the choir, and I like that Mariah sort of went from belt to whisper to belt. Like she sounded really good. But yeah, I agree. It wasn't sort of like, because there's, as you said, there's the ones on the OG album, but then there's also a couple of mashups in this one, and I think this is maybe the least successful. But I still enjoyed it. I went for a 4.25. This is not, we're not into Ville. So what is your score for this song?
Look, I'm going to go probably just to a 4, I'm afraid.
Oh.
I know. It's
all right.
Like it's, it's like she wrote it. It's just
even though your favourite song is a song she also didn't write anyway.
It's my favourite song of all time.
Okay. On to the next track, which is Christmas Time is in the Air Again. First Listen From Me, written by Mariah and Mark Shaman.
Oh.
We got a jazz moment happening here.
Yeah.
Like, this was giving me sort of old school Disney.
Yes.
Like way back in the day. And Mariah has said that they were trying to go for something from the 50s. And
well,
I didn't even
Mark
need to know
Shaman,
that.
I think, wrote the music for the Hairspray musical.
Oh, heaven.
So I think, if anyone knows how to do back in time music.
That's true. I mean, I wouldn't have been mad if Zac Efron showed up looking all good.
No.
But I can literally imagine like Bambi's friends prancing around a video.
Yes.
Like it's a whole thing. And it's short and sweet. It's just, I think 3 minutes, a little over. And she's like, I did it. I don't need to do any more.
Yeah. And you know what else is? It does not sound like an original composition.
No.
Like it could be a Nat King Cole song.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
Like it could be a Judy Garland song. Like it absolutely.
She should totally do that. Like resurrect an old Judy Garland Christmas track and just sing with it. Heaven.
Oh, yeah. That would be amazing.
Right?
I would absolutely love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not the. I do love the big belts at the end.
Yes.
Like she really goes for it. More than, say, someone would have if they'd recorded it at the time that it's pretending to be said.
Yes, sure. No one had voices then.
No.
So she was
they could all still belt, but, Mariah goes for a run in the middle of the belt. But yeah, it's amazing. Like, and it is, it's doubly amazing because it's a Mariah Carey composition. I think that's one of the things for this whole album that I found was I kind of liked her originals more than the traditionals she did. Whereas the other album, it was a bit of fitty-fitty.
Yeah, sure. There's definitely something in my little overview that echoes that 100%. Look, for me, I've only listened to it twice. So... Yeah. But I definitely straight off out of the gate, I was like, this is good. So I've gone for a 4.5 and we'll see where we go once it's, because now on the playlist.
Yes.
So I'll have the whole season to enjoy.
You'll hear it every day and you'll be like, oh, that's right. That is one of hers.
Yeah. Season Infinity.
Yeah. It definitely gets 50s in 50s in Infinity. I can't speak English. Not that word
either.
was in English.
Why is it we get here, is it we press record and then we forget how to talk?
Forget how to talk. In 50s inity.
Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect. Which now brings us to the next mashup of The First Noel / Born is the King. And that's an interlude, apparently. First, listen. Couldn't find writers. It's just that it's a traditional song.
Well, they are
So-
both traditional, are they not?
yeah, and oftentimes with the traditional songs, they're so old.
Yeah,
that
they don't know
No
who
one
wrote
actually knows, and there's different versions of. Now, this does tie into what you were just saying, which for me, this song's just that little bit too carol-y.
Yeah.
It's a little too like almost like it's got 3 lyrics, which is Noel, Noel, Noel.
Yeah.
And Mariah's like, I will just deliver that in 19 different ways, which sounds lovely, but it kind of don't feel that depth behind it. And it made me think of when we slowed down Holla Back Girl and turned it into a ballad. Like where you just take any nonsense lyric and slow it down and suddenly it has meaning. Like she sounds really good, but it did it almost made me laugh, like Noel, 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 Noel again. And I like the outro, but who's Israel?
That's where the king was
Israel.
born. That's where he was
I thought it was
born.
Israel.
No,
Is-
but
is-
that
Israel.
like, that song always has been
Israele.
Israel. Like that's how that
Israel.
song goes.
It just made me laugh, and I was like, I don't think I'm meant to be laughing.
It's too early in the season for you. You haven't even caught up yet.
No, I need some eggnog.
Need
but
some
yeah.
eggnog and someone's hand up your overwarm jumper.
But yeah, look at it's just that it's very carol-y.
I
think
love
normally-
the interlude. I think the interlude raises.
Is that the end?
Yeah.
Yes,
Israel. Like when all the
Any other
voices
word
come in.
I wouldn't have been laughing.
But yeah, where it all kind of like it's kind of like it kicks up a notch almost. It's and I like that part of it more. Like I love the first Noel. It's a lovely song, but I feel like she chose all her best songs. That she's the best at singing for the first album.
Yeah, sure.
And this one is a bit yeah.
He's a bonus.
It's but I love the arrangement of Born is the King.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I like the first Noel. I think her voice is gorgeous. Like it's a really sweet, and I have heard some horrific over singing of Christmas carols by
Sure.
other people who I won't mention.
Oh.
Christina
No.
Aguilera. But
I don't think we know her, so that's fine.
who
Jessica
I love.
Simpson. I don't know
I
if
love
she has,
her
but she should have
normally,
a Christmas album.
Christina, but on her Christmas album, it's like, no, love, like just rein it in, like, and that's something I think Mariah has been very judicious with. Is like, no, I know that can be annoying if you know how to sing a song, and then I come in and go, no, it's like this now. So I appreciate her not doing that. But yeah, there's like, she sounds great. It's just, it's fine. But I love the Born is the King interlude. Like it kind of, just when you think, you go, oh yeah, that's been nice. And you're going, whoa.
Oh, surprise.
Oh, a little bit of girl group choir business going on here. This is good. This is fun. I like this vibe.
So what score?
Look, it's on the cusp.
Okay.
I think it's just going to be a straight up 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's abhorrent in your eyes.
Yeah.
Look, I've gone for a 3.5. I think because of her vocal, it pushed it up.
Yes.
But I can't say that on either listen I was entranced, sadly. But we still have many songs that can win me back, including this next one, When Christmas Comes, which was a first listen from me, written by Mariah and James Poyser, which has a video.
Excellent.
Just quietly.
Oh, well, that means
Now-
we have to do Poshnopsis. Tinsel, Poshnopsis.
So, but not homemade tinsel.
never.
Whatever that is.
Whatever that is.
So the video version actually features John Legend.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at home. Charlie Brown is on. Mariah writhes. She has a splash while John plays piano. And Mariah chops up some nuts to make a pie. Hopefully not John's. And a natural hair moment.
Oh.
Mariah then gets a visit from actual Snoopy. And the kids try to play with him, but Mariah is like, no, he's my friend, fuck off. And then she's like, okay, I guess you can play too. But only if we play snowball fights and I have the biggest snowball and throw it at you really hard.
Yeah.
Dem babies are here, and like they are really babies in this video, like teeny tiny. I'm loving Mariah's curls. And now we're in black, like the back cover of the debut. I noticed. And Nikki's there, dressed as Santa with puppies, and people have showed up to what I'm calling the OG Butterfly Lounge.
Oh, yes.
Because there's people come in and they're having a sing, and there's a piano and a whole
Are there
thing.
dogs? There's always dogs.
Yeah, and I just call them all Jack.
Yeah.
Any
There
dog
are
is
many
Jack.
dogs on this album. Mm-hmm. Have you noticed? It's just like every second song, there's like, is that a dog barking?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's in the record.
And in the videos too, which we'll
Yeah.
find. So look, this was another one that has that slightly jazzy vibe.
Yeah.
And I really think this could work well as a non-Christmas song as well. Like,
Yeah.
I was sort of like, I'm not... And I did prefer Mariah's solo version, as I often do.
Yes.
Are you across the John...
I have heard the John
version?
Legend. And it's fine, but it's like when she's alone and just ripping, like the album version, I much prefer when she's ripping into those vocals.
Yes. Yeah.
Like she treats this like, this is like, what if Christmas came to We Belong Together, basically.
Yeah, and I think that's that whole vibe of like, I could believe this on another album.
Yeah.
And I think, I even kind of, like, I think one, it would be really good live. I even got like a bit of a sexy Bruno Mars style thing going on. And then when I looked into it, there was an interviewer saying that they like it, that it sounded very nice. And Mariah said, that's all you can say about the song. You know that song is hot.
So it's when Christmas comes. I understand, Mariah.
Yeah. And also, I think it's one of the most successful interpolations of a traditional song being Jingle Bells, because it feels more like a fun mention
Yeah.
rather than let's shove it in. It's like, oh, this just kind of came to me in the moment.
Yeah.
As Christmas and other things were coming, so did the Jingle Bells.
Yeah.
And so it just
That's where the Christmas comes from, is from the Jingle Bell.
yes. Lord, where's the carrot? And the only
Where did you put that bauble?
the only thing I would say is I kind of wished that the ending was chorus to fade. Like, just keep that, because that chorus is good. Not the la-di-das. That was still nice, but I was like, I could go an old school chorus to fade here.
It's Christmas, you know. You got to have your Christmas.
Got a
moments.
la-di-da.
Yeah.
But
Also,
maybe the other
I think the other thing is, like, this album has every song bleeds into the next song, so it's like one big long song. So as much as chorus to fade would be great, for this song, it would interrupt what's happening with the album. It would stop the flow, and that is one thing I love. I love that. You can play these all out of order, but when you play them in order, it's just like, oh, this is just like one great big concert. Like,
well, we're in Christmas Town.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. Merry Christmas to You does not let up with the Christmas vibes. It is.
Well, that's because it's two. It needed to be double Christmas.
It did need to be double Christmas.
DP of Christmas.
DP, we got DP Santa.
Speaking of, wow, look at dry. Speaking of, oh no, we've got to score this. What am I talking about? So, look, I think this one's gonna go up again, but I've gone for a gentle 4.5, and then we'll see. Again, we'll playlist it, and we'll just see where we end up. We'll see where the carrot goes.
I feel like the bulk of the song is a 5, and then when she goes, all right, I'm going to sing the end. Are you ready? And I'm like, you've sung me to infinity, babe.
I have a moment of that in a song coming up, I think. All right. Now, speaking of DPs, we've got Here Comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane / Housetop Celebration, which is written... So Here Comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane, written by Gene Autry and Oakley Haldeman, and Up on the Housetop, written by Benjamin Hanby, and the new arrangement was Mariah, JD, and Brian Michael Cox.
Yeah.
And we have a video.
Another video.
I know. We're smashing videos.
Busting them out.
So,
hang on.
Poshnopsis.
Poshnopsis. Here's Santa. Poshnopsis.
So this was an interesting one because this is just a little short video. So I don't know if a whole thing was filmed, but it's a short video of Mariah with Santa. and toy soldiers and hot as fuck gold trumpet players, even though there's no trumpet playing. But Lord, who cares, because I'm pregnant now.
You can get pregnant from trumpet players on the video.
I think I can. And also Mariah's breasts came to say hi.
Oh, yeah. They're spreading a lot of cheer.
And yes, and Dem babies are here. And what even is this video? I don't know. Everyone was commenting about her assistant from that time who was on Mariah's World, who's no longer around.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is this her doing? Don't know. And it doesn't finish. It's just like a minute and a bit long.
Yeah.
But it's production, darling. The trumpet players alone. So I have actually changed the name of this song.
Oh, okay. What is it called now?
It is Here Comes Glitter Claus. Because this totally would make sense on festive night at the club in Glitter with Mariah on stage.
Yes.
It's also probably the most that she's interpolated the hip hop in, which is always fun.
Yes.
I just kind of wish she'd gone even harder, because she did in the Christmas special last year get Snoop to do a little rap moment.
Yeah, which was great fun.
And I think this would have done really well with a little Debrat.
Oh yeah, that would be cute.
Yeah. Just as a little festive feature. But the thing that kept making me laugh about it, did you ever watch Married with Children?
Yeah, Love and Marriage.
So the Christmas episode where Al has to cash a check or something, and he goes to the bank and they've already closed. Yes. And it's the Christmas party, and Marcy's drunk and she's got to let him in, but she's dancing and she's photocopying her bum and stuff. Mm-hmm. There's a song that's got this slightly, like, for white people in the 90s, a slightly hip hop. I think it's Deck the Halls. And it's just got a slightly more updated thing. And it's like really kind of disjointed in the beat. Yeah. And you just see Marcy, I think she's very drunk. And she passes out and Christmas is ruined for Elle. And that's all I think of when I hear this beat, is that weird kind of scene. I don't know why. It kept happening. I think it's the way she's dancing. It's very like, I don't know, like, again, a white person trying to do hip hop.
That is...
in the 90s.
Your connections are very strange. Your brain works in a very unique
I
way.
know. It's on the YouTubes for anyone who wants to see what I'm talking about. But yes, how do you feel about the coming of the Santa Claus down the coming of the lane?
I love Santa Claus being right down my lane.
I mean, he named it after himself.
Yeah, he did.
So.
Santa Claus Lane. Do you know what I love about this? It gave me the same vibes, like you say, from Glitter. I felt like this was part 2 of Last Night a DJ Saved My Life.
Totally.
Like Busta Rhymes was going to turn up and we were going to have some noggy moments. Because it just, like, Housetop Celebration actually does sound like what it says on the tin. Like, it just...
Yes.
There's dogs barking. I presume that's Dem baby squealing and carrying on at some point. But there's lots of people having a whale of a time. And I am here for it. And also, Here Comes Santa Claus Right Down Santa Claus Lane is one of my favourite stupid Christmas carols because it is absurd. Like, the lyrics are ridiculous and I kind of love it.
Maybe it's the absurdity that makes me think of Married with Children. Don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing with this one, it's an instant like, but I think there was more potential. I think there was potential for more.
Yes.
With it. I think they could have gone really hard and had 100 mixes and all that sort of stuff. So I've gone for a 4.25, but again, these things can grow.
Mm-hmm.
And where are you?
For me, it's on the cusp. Lane? I think it's straight up 5, almost just on the outside of an infinity.
Okay.
Because it's fun. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. You're right. It is an instant kind of like, I'm going to bop along to this. I think the only reason it was a little lower was just that it had so much potential for even more.
Yeah.
But that brings us to Charlie Brown Christmas, a first listen from me, written by Vince Guaraldi and Lee Mendelsohn, containing elements from Linus and Lucy and Christmas Time Is Here from the old Peanuts gang. So I don't have memories of Charlie Brown Christmas. Is this something that you grew up with?
Yes.
Okay, tell me all about
there was always a Charlie Brown card. There was a Christmas one. There was the best one was the Halloween one. So yeah, but no, I just the Lucy and Linus bit at the start, the doon doon doon. I was like, oh my god, I love this. It's the Charlie Brown music. The fact that they got a really accomplished jazz musician to do the music for those cartoons was incredible. Yeah. And Mariah just going, yeah, I'm singing it is amazing. Like, and she, we've said this before, like she needs to do more jazz and
there's a few jazzy moments here
and
for sure.
This is just, and also it's under 3 minutes, mate.
I mean, we do appreciate the under 3 minutes.
But it's just, I've always wanted more jazz from Mariah. And like with The Wind, you know how much I love her just ripping into the wind and Lullaby of Birdland. But yeah, having her jump on a very jazzy, even though it's Charlie Brown Christmas, which feels like it should be a weirdly commercial thing, but it's not. It just, it's great. I love it.
And I think that's the thing. Like, we know that the thing for Mariah, this is like a childhood moment.
Yes.
And all I could think of was it's as if I did a festive version of my favourite childhood song, Unbreak My Heart.
Did you see Kelly doing it the other day?
Yes. Oh, my God. Can we talk about the rendition of I Will Always Love You?
Oh, perfect.
Because they can't, when they first teased it, they just showed Ariana doing Celine.
I know. And I love that Ariana also does Celine's talking voice.
Yeah. And that's things. And like Ariana's like smashed it on the last, the last little belt to be like, oh, I can sing it. I'm having fun with it, but I can sing it. And then it cut out. And then when it all obviously aired or something, they showed the full clip where she just goes into Unbreak My Heart. And I was like, sorry, not Unbreak, I Will Always Love You. And I think everyone knows Kelly Clarkson can sing, but Lord, like it was perfect.
It was perfect.
And no, I've never heard anyone else other than Whitney sing that song that well.
Yeah.
And I think it just, it's like, don't you forget now. And I think she might be the most versatile pop singer out there. Because she can literally sing anything.
She did not storm home on Idol because she was the worst.
Yeah. But I just, even me who just adores her was still like, oh God, like, did it. And I really think she needs to do a covers album.
Oh, she should.
Oh, okay. So, look, for this one, I what I liked is that you've kind of got the joyful intro into a more introspective moment. And it's a little... it's a little nod to the childhood. So for me, I wasn't like, wow, this is my favorite, but I do love that for Mariah.
Yes.
And I will do my Unbreak My Heart moment. So I've gone for a 4 out of 5 with this one.
Oh, only 4. This gets Jazzfinity.
Okay. I weirdly didn't notice the jazz as much in this one, but I'll go back and take it away.
I think it's just because it's, the guy who wrote it, who composed it, is like a big jazz musician.
Yeah, sure. So you picked up
of the day.
Are you ready for the coming of the O of the All Year of the Faithful / Hallelujah chorus featuring Piggy Patricia?
Piggy Patricia.
Which is traditional. O Come All Ye Faithful is traditional, and Hallelujah chorus was written by George Friedrich Handel.
Yes.
Or Handel. We have a video.
Of course we do.
So it's really just footage of Mariah's...
A poshnopsis. An operatic festive poshnopsis.
And then just the siren in the background. So there's mainly just footage of Mariah's life and Mariah singing into the microphone. We have some sheet music moments. And, oh, hey, Jack. Jack's here.
Yay!
Mariah allows Patricia to pet him as she's covered in dog hair anyway. Patricia tries to prove that she's twice the singer Mariah is, but I'm not convinced. Thankfully, Mariah is here to squeal. Ooh, there's a cat. And now Mariah makes Patricia stand there while she shows her how to really sing.
Oh.
There's just a moment where Mariah's singing into the mic and they zoom out and you've not realised that they're next to each other. And then Patricia's just sitting there waiting for her moment. And it's like, yeah, it'll come. You'll get your moment. And then I'll squeal really loudly over it. So for the song itself, I actually translated Patricia's part and she's actually singing, "You should be half the singer I am." So... surprised that got in there, but
how did she get that in there?
I just like that Mariah took it off the wall for a moment. I do think that this is a more successful Carol reimagining than the first one. There's just a little more oomph to the song itself, like the original.
Yeah. And also mashing it up with an operatic moment, like
And it's unexpected.
Yes.
I can't say, and maybe I need to listen with headphones. I can't say I was blown away by Patricia.
Oh, you're not meant to be.
But maybe I'm coloured by.
No, I mean, look, I will say that this has, like, after reading the book, like, this was one of my favourite songs on this album. And after reading the book, I'm like, ugh, why did you let her do it? Like, I could have got...
Yeah. Get Marina Pryor.
No, that opera singer that sent her the letter that what she hung out with at Oprah's place.
Or even a bit of Kristen Chenoweth. She loves Christmas.
Yeah. But I appreciate it's Christmas. It's about family, and it's she has a difficult situation with her mother, but she's still her mum. But yeah, I don't think at any point are we meant to think that this is a duet.
Yeah, I think she sinks more into the background than I expected.
Yeah, it's in name only. But I think she does add something to it, like by coming in with that Hallelujah chorus and giving a full throttle operatic moment.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of does allow Mariah to soar higher than she probably would if she was singing to her own backtracked vocals. Like, it's kind of like going, here is a very structured vocal performance, which you have to be in opera. Like, it's all about discipline. Sure. It's all about, you hit this note at that point. Like, there's no fucking around, as happens in pop and jazz and other forms. Like, in opera, you are disciplined. And I feel like that structure kind of gives, and the fact that they're singing traditional songs has given Mariah an excuse to go, I am going to go fully to church.
Yeah.
And rip the roof off this place.
And I did write that I may not have been blown away by Patricia's part, but I was blown away by the squeals in the last quarter of the song.
Not even the squeal. Like, the squeals are
just
great,
the whole
but just
thing,
the whole, like, her entire vocal performance here is big. Like, in a way, it isn't on any of the other songs. Like, this is one of those ones I would get to, like with Rainbow, because she just goes for it when she sings Against All Odds. Take a look at me now. Yeah. Like, that was one of those songs where I'd get to the end of the song, I was like, I have to go through that again. Like, that has to happen immediately again. Yeah. And again and again. And same with this. I would pop this. Like, this is when I was first driving. I first got my license. So I'd be driving around with this CD just jammed in the car. I couldn't get anything else in there. Like, I think I was still playing it in July. And would get to this song and it had to just be on repeat. Like, the number one, press one, repeat for about an hour. Because
did you go full operatic yourself?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I did the whole handle bit.
I think it also made the inclusion of her mum made kind of like what you said. It's allowed the traditional part of the song to be something else. Yeah. And otherwise it could have just been a great song, a great vocal, but yeah, as you said, sort of just stayed in one area. But I've given this 3 different scores.
Oh, how does it have 3 different scores?
Generally speaking, it's a 4 out of 5, but the squeals at the end get infinity. So the last quarter gets infinity, but Patricia gets a 3. Just because I'm spiteful. I don't want any bleak people at Christmas, all right?
No bleak people at Christmas.
No.
Look, it's opera affinity. Like, it is spectacular. And I did a lot of stuff with opera singers when I was doing Spicks and Specs, and one of them came on. She'd recorded an album, and I was like, "Where do you record the album? Because you guys have such powerful voices. Like, you'll be blowing microphones all over the place." And she said, "Oh, they put the microphone for this album. Like, she sang an album. I think Emma Matthews was her name. An album of Mozart arias with the Tasmanian Symphony Orchestra." And she sang in, an opera venue, and they popped the microphone in the dress circle.
Makes sense.
And it's like, but it sounds like you're
in the foyer,
in the room. God, and it's like, oh wow, that is like, given how, like, you've recorded an album, you stand pretty close to the microphone because it's like, well, this will hurt me if I I belt too loud. No, the microphone is in the dress circle.
And the weird thing is, like, so the difference between, say, and Mariah would be the same. Like, you go lower register, you're closer.
Yeah.
You belt, you stand back.
Yeah.
So you make physical distance back and forth to avoid that. But with this, it sounds like you have to basically be the same level.
Yeah.
You can't drop. Like, that's crazy.
Like, it was like opera comes from a time before amplification. Like, you were the amplifier. Like, you had to sing to the back row every night.
Lord, you'd be buggered, wouldn't you?
Well, they didn't do it 8 times a week, like bloody,
True.
like Rent or Moulin Rouge or anything. Like, it was, they'd do like 4 and then be like, yeah, I'm done now.
Yeah, bye. Okay, on to our next track, which is "Oh Holy Night" live. Written by Rudolph Adam, as I call him. I the first thing I noted was that it was nice to have a real live moment, unlike the fake claps on Emancipation. I was like, this is a real live moment. And we've sort of touched on this song in the original anyway, but I'm torn as to whether I prefer this version or the studio recording. Do you have a feeling on this?
I love the studio recording where it lives on that album. But for this album, you go, well, I'm glad she's singing that again because she does such a great job of it.
Yeah.
But what a magnificent A, arrangement, and B, like, just crazy festive gospel moment. Like, this, as this thing comes to a close, like, it is a long version.
Yes.
Like, normally, Oh Holy Night is like a couple of minutes and see you later. Yeah. Like, I'm just going to get like my all nights out.
Everyone's on their knees.
Yeah. Whereas this, like, just keeps going. I think it is... Yeah, I can't split the difference between the two. I really...
No, me either, and I'm struggling with it.
Yeah, because I think it is like this wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the other one. But I feel like she has built upon what she created there.
Yeah. And the atmosphere being live, it feels more electric, I think.
And also just the slight imperfections she gets sometimes in her delivery, which she would re-record had she a chance.
Yeah.
I kind of love those. I think
that's part of the feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of, you go, like, it's it's not imperfect, but it's just like every now and again you go, oh yeah, that's I can hear that's a note you probably would have tidied up. You would have given that another go if you were singing this in the booth. But you're like, this is a live moment. I'm keeping it. And regardless, it's like they're maybe 0.01% of the song. Like the rest of it, like it is almost a flawless performance.
Yeah, it's
like
pretty insane. Like you'd be splitting your hairs to pick the difference between the studio and this.
Yeah.
And I was torn on scoring this one. Like, part of me was like, I feel like this is a song just in general, that there are parts that I like better than other parts.
Right.
If that makes sense. But that doesn't make the other parts bad.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that Pit's Infinity, that's a 4.5. So it's still good.
Yeah.
So I'm somewhere between 4.5 and Infinity.
I think I'm right on, like, I'm well into Infinity here.
Yeah,
like
this is a favourite.
This is like, it was a favourite before, and this, I almost forgot this was here. Like, because I remember really enjoying, the Patricia moment with Mariah just going, all right, Mum, I'll show you how to sing. And then suddenly it's like, I'm going to get all my friends around and we're all going to sing. And it's like, oh, that's right. You've got this great big church business going on. And because I love this song. Like, I love the song when other people sing it as well.
Yeah.
But this is I can't walk this back from Infinity. This is berserk.
You're just there.
Yeah.
Okay, now on to One Child. First listen from me, written by Mariah and Mark Shaman. I was getting another Disney vibe from this.
Yes.
Bambi's back. And I did like, obviously called One Child. You've got the choir, which makes a lot of sense and is a nice touch. But kid choirs can be borderline creepy. And so the first listen, I was just slightly on edge going, where's this going to go? Like, are they coming for me? But I think, as much as I actually didn't mind the kid choir, I think the chorus is my least favorite part of this song. I think the rest of it is really strong.
Yeah.
And the chorus is just nice. But I was like, oh no, like the parts that are in my head, the parts that I really enjoy are like the verses and the pre-chorus and the bridge and all of that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about The One and the Only Child?
I love this song. Like, I think it's the build that gets me, like, because it starts, you know, and you're like, oh yeah, that's sweet, and then before you know it, it's like, oh, everyone's joined into this, and it's like it lifts, and it's big. It's got a great big swelling orchestral key change, which, you know, who can complain about that?
No, yes, exactly.
And it has like it feels like the successor to you know, that kind of very traditional ballad very traditional carol really that she wrote for the first one, Jesus Was Born on This Day. And yeah, it feels very much the same. Like, again, I feel like she's recorded this kind of as a favor to go, I'm going to record this one, but realistically, this song is basically it's for royalties for other people to sing at carols for the rest of forever.
It's funny because I did go back and listen to our episode of Merry Christmas, and you mentioned this about the other song.
Yeah.
So it's a business.
Yeah. And I have seen that song performed. I think I've seen this one as well. It's one of those songs, like, and as you say, it does have, like, Mark Shaman, of course, it has kind of like a Disney vibe. Like, he is
for sure.
He's a big composer.
And looking at it now and seeing how that connects. Yeah.
And it just, you know, this is, it just feels like this feels like a business proposition. Like, it just feels like I'll record it.
This will make the bank.
But realistically, this is just to keep me in slippers for the rest of eternity. When Christmas rolls around, I remind everyone how good I am. And they'll sing all my songs. And I'll get some royalties, and Mama will be happy. But yeah, I do love the tradition, like that it feels like a traditional carol, that it feels like a very orchestral, big choir moment. And you just go, Jesus, she can write these things, can't she?
Yeah. So, what is your score?
I think it's on the cusp of infinity, but inside.
Right. So it's landed.
Yeah.
It just hasn't got its bags yet.
Oh yeah, it's not it's not Oh Holy Night all the way in, and you know, at the back in the VIP section of Infinity.
Hasn't started snowing yet.
It's just in. It's got through the queue into Infinity nightclub, but it hasn't quite.
Now we're at nightclub.
Yeah, it hasn't quite got taken off its jacket and still in the queue for the cloakroom at Infinity.
It showed its ID, but it hasn't got its wristband. But, look, for this one, I went for a 4.25, and we'll see where we end up. It's the kid choir, killing me. Now with this next track, we don't really need to cover it, but we'll touch on it, which is a little All I Want for Christmas Is You, Extra Festive.
Extra Festive.
Written by Mariah and Snuffleupagus.
Yes.
Now we have the Extra Festive intro, which was lovely, but we missed the ballad moment.
I know.
I was like, oh, I liked it. It was almost coming in like The Sound of Music.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I was like, oh, and then we're going to sing. Oh, no, we're already in it.
Yeah.
Which I get it. It's for radio, darling.
Yes.
So what I like about it being here is that if Nan bought you this for Christmas and it's not the first one, you don't have the first one, but she's seen it and gone, oh, that's the Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
That's the song. It's here. It's not the original, but it's pretty damn close.
Yeah.
But weirdly, because at first I was like, has she re-recorded the vocal? Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah.
Because she's so close to herself.
Yeah, no.
It's only towards the end that you go, oh, no, that's different. Oh, that's a little bit different. But that almost makes you feel odd because the original is so ingrained.
Yes.
And she has said she notices the imperfections, but we do not because it's perfect.
It is.
So on one hand, I was like, I like that this is here, but I wouldn't have hated it if they just popped the original on either.
Well, this is the third one I think she's recorded.
Yeah.
Because there's the one with Little Bow Wow.
There is too.
Is it on the remixes?
Well, then there's also there's a Justin Bieber.
There's a Justin Bieber one as well. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, this is, or maybe this is the fourth. No, I think Bieber was after this.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. But yeah, the Little Bow Wow one, which maybe it was on the Greatest Hits.
I think it was. Yeah. But I don't think there's a video, so that might be why I've missed it.
So yeah, it's like it's basically it's like a Neapolitan ice cream. You know, you eat all of it. And they all taste good.
Yeah.
And, you love your strawberry, you love your vanilla, you love your chocolate. And how can you say that they're none of
Strawberry's my
one is
favourite.
not better than the other?
Strawberry's the best one.
No, they're all
it
they're
is.
all
It's really
good.
good.
They're all good. I prefer
strawberry.
vanilla.
I like vanilla. Yeah, chocolate. Weirdly, as much as I love chocolate, not my favorite ice cream flavor. So yeah, look, for this one, because the original is infinity, it's still infinity, but it's 4.75 to infinity.
Right.
Just because
You want the ballad opener.
Yeah,
You love
and
you love
I'm
the
hearing
gear
it.
change.
It's
Not
in
the
my
key change,
DNA.
but the gear change.
Yes. It's just it's so embedded.
Whereas this gear change is from orchestral to poppy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it. I understand.
Yeah. And how are you still in
It's always
infinity?
infinity. Shut up.
Yeah. Oh, very dare I. On to, is this the last track? I think it is.
Yes.
Auld Lang Syne, the New Year's anthem. First listen from me.
What is happening with this song?
Written by Robert Burns, Mariah, Randy Jackson, and Johnny Severin. Now we have a video.
Excellent.
Are you ready?
A posh nopsis. A posh nopsis. Happy New Year to posh nopsis.
I did a little behind the scenes moment for you. So the video, Mariah and fireworks. It's fucking bonkers. That's the entire video. And that's where the meme of her kissing came from.
Yeah.
But that's literally all that happens. Yeah. So, okay, this song, I was very pleased when this turned from like the opening into some weird techno thing.
Oh, what?
Just because I was like, I needed, 3 minutes of this would have been too much.
Yeah.
But then it's like, let's go full, turn the beat around. And I can't say that the instrumental is totally successful. It's very Venga Boys Does Christmas meets The Lord's Prayer by Sister Janet Mead.
It is.
And, but I kind of love it.
Yeah.
Like in a weird, I'm like, I can't not have this. This needs to be here.
This is the sequel to Joy to the World, which was, we've got Joy to the World. Oh, we've got Joy to the World Handbag House Edition. Okay.
This was somehow
and
more
this
outdated than that one.
This was like to the nth degree. And I think you kind of understand how Mariah feels about it when she gets to the end. She goes, does anyone even know the words to this?
Yeah, what am I doing?
And I'm like, so she's decided like this is... I think what she's done is sum up exactly what it feels like on New Year when you are... It's 4 a.m. You've had a big time. You're like, I don't even know what's happening anymore. But we're doing this. This song is on and I'm going to sing it.
And she has to let people know that now it's time to not... that now it's time to go back to my other albums.
Yeah.
You've done this. And that was lovely.
Finish this one and
now go to another album.
Like I love that she's trying to colonize every holiday in the world. I appreciate that, and I love that it's bleeding out to other holidays now. But yeah, this is bonkers, and I kind of love how bonkers it is.
So this was another one that I gave 3 scores. So it's 3.5, but it's also a 2 and an infinity. Because it's just like, I'm so glad this exists.
It is literally camp. It is.
It is.
And she knows. Like, it's kind of like, she's like,
I'm going to stand in front of fireworks and kiss. That's what I'm going to do.
I'm going to lean into it.
I found this old backing track at Gloria Estefan's house. And I was just going to sing over it.
She was singing, turn the beat around. Like, no one needed to hear that again. Like, you have to hear this every year. You might as well hear me singing it over some sort of weird half-assed techno beat.
It's fine. So what's your score on this one?
Oh, this is Happy Newfinity.
I'm just going to have to adopt this into my New Year celebrations.
You have to.
Yeah.
When you do the countdown, like the fact that they count down.
I know. I'll time it.
It has a countdown in the song. Like, it is berserk.
I'll get on there and I'll get the clock ready and I'll time it so that Mariah can say Happy New Year. All right, so my overall thoughts. Actually, no, you give me your overall thoughts on this album and then I'll let you know mine.
All right, my whole big feelings and thoughts and everything. I love this. And I've like, I feel weird that we didn't do the Oh Santa remix because I'm sure my album had a remix on it.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I have to dig it out.
Is there like a feature on it?
No, it's just
just a
Osana
remix?
Jump Smokers remix. It's fun.
Okay.
It's very silly.
You can bring it into the remix episode.
Yeah, I will. But yeah, look, it was never going to be as amazing as Merry Christmas because that is a perfect album. And I feel like all sequels, it's trying to do all the things that the original did. Like, you've got your weird dance.
Lauren Hill's here.
You've got your
Jennifer
weird dance
Hewitt's here.
version one. You've got your weird,
Yeah.
I'm going to make this sound like it's an actual carol that people sing, and I'm going to sell the rights to it all over the place. It's good, and there are some soaring moments on it, like some absolute standout moments. But I think when it goes into the troughs that it goes into, which are not, there are no bad songs on here.
Yeah.
But I think the other one is so consistent throughout that this one, you can't help but measure them up. But I will say, I love that it just plays like one big song. Like that.
Yeah, for sure.
There are no breaks. There's no fade outs into another song. It's just, it's like an album that's made like, how on iTunes everything kind of bleeds into each other. You can make it crossfade. It's this album's like, I'm doing that anyway. So yeah, I kind of love that about it. And I do love like those couple of crazy moments where she just goes, I'm going to sing this one and tear the roof off. In a way she doesn't on the original. Like she's so kind of like her voice is so restrained. It does have some spectacular moments on it. But yeah, because she's got more confidence in her voice and she's, she knows she can take it further than she used to, even though, her voice has always been amazing. But I feel like when she goes, berserk on this one, she really goes to town.
And I guess knowing there's an audience for it too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess back then it was kind of like, she'd only had a couple of albums out and it's like, oh, don't squeal too much, Mariah. And now she's like, I'll squeal on every goddamn song if I want to. I'm Mariah fucking Carey.
That's it. And look, I tend to agree. Like I wrote that there's really nothing on here that you'd be mad at. Like if you put this album on and it was beginning to end, you wouldn't be like, oh my God, why? Yeah. Maybe that last song. But you'd be so drunk it wouldn't matter.
That song is perfect.
Perfect. And yeah, so I just felt like I definitely agree with you on, I think I prefer the originals.
Yeah.
But I think I prefer that in general with most artists.
Yeah.
I prefer, a couple of classics and then all original, just because you get more of their vibe, more of their personality.
Yeah.
And I think in, comparing it to the original one, I have found with the original one, the highs are higher.
Yes.
But a couple of the lows were lower. So this for me was maybe a little bit more of like a consistent listen.
Yes.
Sort of not really any skips, whereas I think there was one or two on the original that I kind of don't know if I'd want to go back to, but then you get the big, like the Holy Nights, the Santa Claus, and of course All I Want for Christmas. Like, there's nothing quite that amazing on here. So I think we're pretty much on the same page.
And I do think the original songs on this are amazing. Yeah. Like, so good. And
not like, again, like you really wouldn't skip anything, which is a tough ask on a Christmas album from anyone. So and do you have a favourite song from this?
I think it is definitely Mariah and her mum just belting it out.
Yeah, I mean that's a good one. Look, I think for me it's still Oh Santa because it does have that. I've got a bit of history with it. Mm-hmm. But who knows? Ask me next year, and you never know.
Next year you could be you could be in the church at Oh Holy Night time.
Absolutely. And a least favourite song.
It's hard to have a least favourite. Maybe Little Drummer Boy. Oh, Little Town of Bethlehem.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine, but
just not when you're going to go.
It doesn't,
immediately
because I don't want to get rid of Here Comes Santa Claus right down Santa Claus Lane, because, there's so much fun. Charlie Brown is fun and jazzy. I think that's, and I still love that song. And, you don't put that as the second track unless you're confident with it. And
that's true, yeah.
But, there's so many huge moments as the album goes along that, that's the one that I kind of go, oh.
Could take a leave.
If I had to get rid of one, But
See, I love that you struggled, and I'm immediately the first Noel.
oh no,
Bye.
I did love the end of that more than the Little Drummer Boy.
Yes, sure, yeah. I don't know. It just going back over.
If I could just trim the Little Drummer Boy bits.
Yeah, perfect. And an overall score.
Overall, it's still an infinity because there is such consistency across this album. Like,
Totally.
As we had with Emancipation of Mimi, you're just like, this is just, it is all go all the way through. There's no filler. It's all killer, no filler.
Kill. Look, I went and looked. It's hard with the Christmas albums because they feel like a separate thing.
Yes.
So I looked at, I think I gave the first one 4.25. So I went for a 4 on this one because I still think the highs on the OG are just that little bit better.
Yeah.
But I agree. Consistency-wise, this is, I mean, it's Mariah Carey.
It's Mariah.
Need I say more?
I know. You can't say anything.
But I think that means we're almost home.
At the end of the podcast, baby. Almost there, almost home. You could probably say, but you won't because of copyright. That's a no.
All right, we are going to continue to talk after this for a little longer, and you can hear that on Thursday, I think, this week.
I think, so just a few festive surprises. Little advent calendar moment.
An advent calendar of Mimi moments.
Yes.
And then we are next week heading back into a chapter.
We're going to go for some divas.
Oh, the divas.
I thought, it's Christmas, and what do we love at Christmas time? Divas.
Yeah. All right. So coming this week, another bonus episode, and next week back into the book for the Divas chapter.
Divas.
All right. Bye, Lamely.
Bye.